Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and not only to get out in nature, but to make sure you bring plenty of water. And are you being kind to yourself? It's so important to love yourself and accept those flaws that we all have. Yes, we all have flaws in our life. And also, not only to love yourself and to be gentle with yourself, is make sure you're being kind to other people. Yes, Starlight said so. Starlight's going to be watching you. So yes, be kind to yourself and others. And anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up. That is if you want to be that change, so we can see that change that we desperately need in the world for the future of the kids. And not only you can give my videos a thumbs up, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, thank you for those out there leaving Starlight a comment. You can always drop me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can also share, and you can check out my playlist. Never know what Starlight's going to talk about next, and you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So here we are. I've been at this hiking trail already, but we're going to go here again because I want to get more familiar with this location here. So here we go on another topic for today. So what is Starlight going to talk about today? I know with the title, even though I didn't thumbnail yet, but you clicked on this video probably curious to what is Starlight going to talk about next. So here we are. This is a beautiful trail. Starlight definitely prefers dirt and to walk on than cement, but this is a beautiful trail anyway, even if there's cement here. So today I want to talk to you about, are you creating a monster? Yeah, are you creating a monster? That is what this topic is about today. Are you creating a monster? And, that title can mean a lot of different things, and so Starlight's going to really speak to you today and ask yourself, are you creating a monster? And you're probably wondering what kind of monster, and these are different kind of monsters out there. Is we're going to start off with little kids and parents, and this is a video that's great for people that are single, that don't have kids. So you can get this information, if you ever plan on having kids, or sometimes, like most times, is maybe unplanned pregnancies, and then now you have this information. Or this is great for people that already have kids, little, medium, and small, and even the teens, but really want to start off on the right foot when they're little. First thing when they come out of the mother's womb is how all this stuff starts, is how do you respond to your kids? And it's about crying. They're crying. And of course, in the beginning, when you're a new mom or a new dad, can't forget the dads, where would the babies be without a dad? So with mommies and daddies, when they first start off, they're, well, depending on if you wanted this child or not, not everyone is excited when they find out that they're going to be having a child. So if you were planning on this, or maybe you didn't plan it, but you really still wanted children in your life, and you got, and no matter how you look at it, they are all blessings from God, and God knows what we need in our life. That's I have to laugh on that, because God really does. God knows what we need, and so as far as like being either single or even, you might even be dating somebody like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you might be married. Or this is even great for grandma and grandpas. Yes, all of the above. This is a video for everyone. So, are you creating a monster or monsters? I don't even know how many. Do you have monsters? I hope not. But if you do, this video could possibly help you out depending on how old your kids are. But really when you really want to start off on the right foot when they're babies, and it starts from there. So if you are, like pregnant, or you're going to be having a baby, or maybe you don't even have any babies, but you're thinking about having babies, or, if you didn't, maybe you can't even have kids. I'm not sure really the situation that you're in, but so the ones that either going to have babies or whether planned or not, or have kids, this video, and even for grandpas and grandmas, whether you're married or not, all these different labels for people is really is that you really want to start off on the right foot. And how do you start off on the right foot, Starlight? Well, when babies come out, yeah, they're gonna cry. That's how they first come out. At least both of mine did. They both cried. I got a boy and a girl. Now they're not little babies anymore, but I still call them my kids. And, when they first come out, they're going to cry. And, of course, they're going to cry some more. They've been inside the mother's womb all that time. So, yep, they're going to cry. And, some people think it's unhealthy, not a good thing to let your children cry. And a lot of times it's because the parents really can't handle the sound. They don't want to hear the sound. They don't want to hear. Who likes hearing a baby cry? Well, if they do like hearing a baby cry, there might be something wrong with that person, why they enjoy hearing a baby cry. So, but most people are not going to like the sound of a baby crying. And a lot of times people are going to want to pick up their baby, or, depending on how old the child is to try to stop the baby or child from crying. So this is what this video is about, is, starting off on the right foot with your children. And, hello, is to start off right by checking with the child, whether it's a baby or like an infant or even like a toddler. When they cry, it's okay that they cry. We can't always be there every time when they cry, and like with an infant is to always pick them up every single time they cry. So there's nothing wrong with, you got to check and make sure everything is okay with the child. First, check, did the child pee or poop their pants when they're an infant? So you want to check that. When's the last time the baby ate? Okay, they just got done eating. What else could be wrong? Maybe they're tired, and that's a lot of times that's what will happen with kids, is they get tired and they get cranky, when they are ready to go to sleep, so they could get upset, because they're fighting that fight of going to sleep. And let's see, there might be something causing the baby. So if you checked everything, because there's all kinds of stuff, the baby might be too hot, the baby might be too cold, so is the baby too cold? Is the baby too hot? Is there light in the baby's eyes? Is it too loud? Is it too noisy? What's causing, so if you've figured out, hey, I've checked everything. Is the baby lying on anything, like in the crib? Is there something that's making the baby uncomfortable? Did the baby just fall? Did the baby get hurt? So a lot of times we're going to go through that checklist, especially when you're a new parent, or even when you're not a new parent, is that you're going to go through the checklist of all the things that could possibly, make that child cry, so if the baby's not too hot or cold, did somebody do something to the baby? Did brother or big sisters hit the child, because of jealousy? So once you find out that the baby's been fed, the diaper's been changed, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, nobody's been beating the child, right? I hope not, because Starlight will come. And, it's okay to let the baby cry, Put some soft, gentle music, like, there's a lot of 432 hertz music that would be really great, like calm, relaxing music, or they have a lot of music, on baby toys that is really great for the children to listen to. Now, if you're listening to heavy metal music, or maybe there's a music that your child does not like and it's listening to it, and maybe, have you ever noticed, maybe the child, I actually met a guy not too long ago, he had a certain taste for music, he loved playing his guitar. It was such a beautiful, a scene that I seen, and it was like really beautiful. I was going to the same park every morning, and this man was too. He probably maybe the wife was out working, and he was with the child, and he would push the stroller to the park, and he brought his guitar with him, and he always had music with him. So he would always, every single time, I'm going to just go off here and take a peek here. Every single time he came to the park with his son, that he always had music playing. I just like taking a peek here. And so it was really cool to see this. And so I was at this park every day, like I said, for a while, because it was a nice park to go and visit. Not a lot of people went there, and there was some shade that I can meditate and do my I am affirmations. And so what I was noticing is the son, which he's probably 4 years old, or 3.5, 4 years old, is that I don't think the son liked Daddy's music, because Daddy played the same kind of music over and over again. And it was so cute. One day, I think the daddy was realizing, you don't like my music? And that's pretty much what was going on, is the child did not like that frequency that Daddy was playing. And it was driving the little boy, he was just screaming because of the sound. So, but, with your little kids, like infants, now sometimes though, they could be having pain and you might not know it, so, that's why you got to pay attention when babies are crying, because there could be something inside the baby's belly that you're not aware of, and for crying for no reason. And there's different kind of cries, and mommies and daddies, especially mommies, when there's certain kind of pitch sound to the babies when they really need something. But then there's the other cries out there that they just want to get close to mommy, and so you do have to have balance. You shouldn't just always ignore your child when it cries. At the same time, you should not really pick your child up every single time it cries. Not it, but she or he. That's why I'm saying it, because it definitely isn't an it. But when so it's a good thing to do is, after you did the checklist to make sure nothing's causing the baby to cry, is, let the baby cry. Put some gentle music on, and, make sure you're watching your child, and then do your house chores, do whatever you need to do. Let the baby cry. Make sure the baby's safe, while you're doing that, so the baby doesn't fall out of the crib or anything like that, or off of a bed or a couch, or, hopefully you're wise enough to know, the safe place to put your child when it's crying, and they need to get used to that. They need to know that everything's okay. There's nothing going on. You're safe. They need to know that, so, and, let them, like each time you okay, say, what, I'm going to let the baby cry for 15 minutes. You can always work yourself on this. I'm going to let the baby cry for 15 minutes straight. Then I'll pick the baby up. get, like kind of wean them, off of crying. And, the next time, let them cry longer than 15 minutes, and sometimes they get so tired of crying, they'll just fall asleep anyway, and, because they want to be around mommy and have that love feeling that they feel off their mommy, and daddy, but mainly mommy, because, mommy's going to be the one, if she breastfeeds or bottle feeds, is going to have that heart connection with the mommy much greater than with daddy. Sorry, guys, but not saying that they're not going to get that same kind of connection with daddy, but more than likely they're going to, because the way the females are made. And so, and then when they're older, the kids, now you got, the baby is no longer, it's a baby still, but now it's like a year old, and so you still gotta, now it's different though. Things you gotta check with a year old, because now that, around that time they could be walking already. All kids are different at ages. When they're walking, maybe the baby's not walking yet. That's okay, so, is that it's good to, let that child know. The more you practice doing that, and saying, no, I'm not going to pick you up. Everything's taken care of. There's not, you ate, your diapers changed, all the checklist, everything's good with the baby. Let the baby cry, And like I said, there could be something wrong with the belly and stuff like that, or maybe constipation problems. There's boys and girls that could have problems, with constipation pains. So that is a different, that's understandable, is when they have that kind of pain, but if there's nothing going on, please let them, cry. Find, like and it shouldn't be because you can't stand the sound of the baby crying. You're going to have to block it out a little bit and just, let them, and I've learned, like, it's best not to say a whole lot. It's just kind of put some soft, gentle music on in the background, so then the baby, or even there's sometimes if they can see, you can give them something that's healthy to watch, where their mind gets off of, crying. And then they're like, now they're older than a year old. Now they're 4 and 5 year olds. And because, see, if you've always ran to them every single time they cry, then they're going to learn, hey, you know what? I'm learning, if I cry, my parents will come to me and see what's wrong with me. And they do. They are quick. They are smart. Don't ever think your kids are stupid, because they are really smart. They're going to learn from a baby to a toddler to, like, when they're 1 year old, 2 years old. They're studying you. They're watching how you respond. They're checking out and seeing how you're going to react to every single thing that you do or don't do. And if you're always running to them, and every time, like, and they're really quick, they are really quick. They will work on mommy and daddy, and, sometimes they'll know that one of the adults are, they can get their way with the one adult, but the other adult might, say, no, he's, the child's just faking. And that's it. A lot of kids are little actors and actresses, so they could act out. And because they realize they've been studying you, here you've been learning about them, but they've been really studying you and finding out, like, hey, you know what? One time I didn't even have a problem, and I cried, and they came and helped me, and there was nothing wrong with me. And so now I'm gonna use that tool of crying to see how many, like, when I don't get my own way, I'm just gonna cry and see what happens. And they are quick. So, you gotta not break them, like, you gotta wean them off on this crying bit when they're little, because otherwise you're gonna be creating a monster. You know, and it is tough, babe. It is tough when you're a first time mom and dad, you know, where, you know, you don't know really what to do, you don't know what to expect, you know, and you don't want to be a, you know, there's some parents that are different. You know, it is good to let them stretch out and yell, let them get it out of their system, you know, because if they're tricking you and they're making you think that there's something, you know, that they, you know, that don't feel bad, don't make yourself feel like you're a bad parent because you're not picking them up right when, you know, every time they cry. Let them cry, you know, and don't, you shouldn't beat them for crying. I hope you're not beating your child because they cry, because guess what? Hey, there's another deer out here. Because if you beat them for crying, guess what? They're just going to cry more. So that's just totally the wrong move, is to think, hey, if I beat my kids for crying, that's not going to stop them from crying, because I've actually witnessed this. There are people out there that they beat little babies because they cried. Let's see if I can get this baby in. But yeah, don't beat your children for being a baby and crying for some, you know, like, even if it just cries for nothing, is beating it is not the answer. Look at that. Hi, baby. So, so they need to learn, you know, and, you know, to talk to them in such a way, let them know that, you know, there's this, if there's nothing wrong with your child, it didn't fall down, and that's, you know, there's times, you know, if a child falls down and scrapes their knee, yeah, that's a reason to cry. But if there's, you know, if the child did not, you know, like fall down and get hurt, and everything else is taken care of, the child did eat, the diapers changed, or the underwear, whatever age, when they're little, you know, is, say, you know, you can ask the child, did you get hurt? And the child's like, no, I didn't get hurt. Because they don't know any better at this stage. You gotta explain to them, like, if you're not hurt, you didn't fall down, so why are you crying? You know, ask them questions. Why are you crying? A lot of times it's because they're not getting their own way, and they need to be taught, like, at a young age, especially starting out, that you know, let them know that, you know, when they're little, is that, you know, are you a baby still? No, I'm not a baby. Why you ask me if I'm a baby? I'm not a baby. I don't wear diapers anymore. Then, you know, because one thing to see a baby cry, you know, and it's a different thing as when they're, you know, 5, 6, 7, and they're still they're crying just, you know, because they didn't get their own way, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, children shouldn't cry, because if they do get hurt, yeah, they're going to cry. Or maybe their pet died, yeah, they're going to cry. Let them cry at those times, you know, but only let them cry for a little bit of time and say, okay, got to get it back together again here. And, you know, you had your time of crying, but now you got to stop crying, and, you know, we got to, you know, get their mind on something else, distract them somehow or another. You know, get them to do something else. And I know out in public it's much different, you know, as far as crying goes out in public, because it's very embarrassing. So really be thoughtful on how you respond to these kids, because you can make it worse, you know, by yelling at them. Don't yell at them, because you're going to scare them, and it's really going to confuse them. They're not going to understand. So yelling at them, like, hey, stop. You know, like, you could, you know, ask them, you know, you got to talk to them in such a way that they don't keep on crying. You don't want to irritate your child, and, you know, it's just that you got to be wise on how you handle the situation, because you could make things worse. Now, that goes for all different ages as far as kids go, as far as, you know, crying, is let them know, hey, if you cry, that's not how you're going to get your way. That's not how you're going to get your way, by being, you know, because they need to learn that they're not going to always they can't always have what they want. And the other thing is, are you buying too much stuff for your kids? You know, are you overdoing it? You know, are they even thankful for what they have? You know, and this can go for the parents and for the grandparents. If you overbuy for your children, it is not good and it's not healthy for them. You know, is to always keep on going out and buying stuff and buying more stuff and buying more, because now you're going to get that child to be so materialistic that, you know, they don't know they're not being grateful for what they have. And so every time they look at you, oh, what are you going to buy me? It's not going to, later on, it's not going to be so much of who you are. It's going to be more of, what do you got for me? What do you got for me? Hey, you know, I don't love you, but, you know, they do have that love for the person. But, you know, I just, you know, it's more or less, what are you going to buy me? What are you going to buy me? What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? You know, after a while, they're not going to see you anymore. They're just going to see, what's in your hand? Do you got anything for me? You know, and that goes for grandpas and grandmas, you know. Are you always going out all the time? You know, oh, every time you come back, you got to always have something, you know, to give to your grandkids. Oh, here's some horses coming up here. Oh, yeah, I'm making a video. Yep, I'm right here. Everything's good. Oh, yeah, this is beautiful. Awesome, yeah. Thank you. Hi. Oh, wow, they are beautiful. This is a treat for me. Hello. Awesome. Look at that. We got a treat today. Beautiful horses. So what does it mean when you see horses? I got to look that up later on. That's a strength. I believe strength is a horse. But isn't that beautiful? Oops, sorry, that zoomed in. I was so excited. But yeah, so with kids, you know, is you're overdoing it, buying too much junk. What are you buying? You know, buying clothes is one thing, but, you know, when you're constantly always thinking that, you know, every time I go to my grandson's house or granddaughter's house, you know, show up with nothing sometime. Let them know that, you know, grandma's not like just a toy store here. You know, grandma is, you know, there's more to grandma than, you know, my money in my wallet or daddy and mom, you know, because, you know, is that they're going to think that that's how this is, and you're teaching them a really bad thing, is because there's a lot of people, they're all about material stuff. It's all about, you know, things, you know, things and more junk and more things, you know, so you could be creating a monster by buying too much, you know, and so less is best, you know. Let them learn, and you know, are they taking care of anything that you gave them? You know, and that's what you need to, you know, when you buy them stuff, are they actually taking care of anything? You know, do they appreciate it? Do they take care of it? Or do they try to break it, you know, and so they can get more stuff? So, you know, because kids will do that. Oh no, if it's broken, now I got to get something else from grandma or grandpa or mom and dad. And, you know, so you got to really think, what is this gonna, you know, I'm serious, you can create a monster. And the other way, this is about kids, you know, and that goes for all ages on that, is buying too much stuff. You know, it's once in a while, you know, treat them, but too much all the time, every single time. You know, if you see your grandson or granddaughter, you know, like once a week, every week, and you're always buying something, really it's not, you know, they need to learn balance. You know, you got to have balance with your grandkids and your granddaughter and even your kids. They need to know that, hey, you know, I just heard this thing the other day where there was a son, and the mommy was working for days and wasn't with her son because she was out, you know, far away. And so the little boy was just with his dad and his grandma. And when mommy came home, you know, they were going to actually get together, and it was the first time, the son actually was going to see his mom, and, we're going to get together, and then they were going to meet to go get ice cream. It was the first time that the little boy was going to see his mommy, and the mom was so excited to see her son, thinking, oh, I can't wait to see my son. And when her son saw his mommy, he didn't say anything about missing her. He was excited about the ice cream. See what I mean? He was more excited about the ice cream than, he hasn't seen his mom like in a week, but he didn't care about seeing mom. It's just like, hey, mom, there's ice cream, and that's a sad thing, is when he's more excited about the ice cream than, missing his mommy. So you gotta, you gotta really be careful, because you are creating a monster if that's how that's going, is that you don't always have to buy something every single time to your children, so there's plenty of holidays, believe me, with birthdays and holidays and parties and this and that. The other thing is about adults, getting together with somebody, you might be single and you might be getting together with somebody, and this is what I told my son. And one of my things that I taught him before he decided to go with this girl, which is the same girl that he's had his whole life, the same lady, now they're married, and they've been married more than 10 years, is that before he got married, I said, hey, it's great to treat her, do good things. My son was so great with me, as he would surprise me and, buy me something when I didn't even, it wasn't my birthday, it wasn't Christmas, it wasn't Valentine's Day. And he was nobody even taught him this. This is something that he did all on his own. And so it was so beautiful that he would come home, not all the time, but he would treat his mom out to like a slushy drink that was a long time ago, or like a sub from Subway. And I'm like, wow, those are the best times right there. I didn't expect it. I'm going to just turn around. And I was surprised, and it was so beautiful. It wasn't my birthday, it wasn't a holiday, so a lot of times people think when they get together with a guy or a girl that they want to buy them this and they want to buy them that, especially when they already said, okay, we like each other, let's start dating, when they actually, sometimes guys and women start a little early before they even decided if they were going to get together, just, is that they start buying gifts, for each other before they even decided to get together with each other. And you got to really be careful with that, because buying too much, not only for kids and teenagers and all that, could turn them into monsters, but even adult relationships. Guys, are you just always going out and buying her something, always coming home and giving her something? Hey, it's great, but really it's not. Because you're creating a monster. She might have not been used to that stuff, and getting a lot of stuff, and after a while, not saying that it's gonna happen, but it could. You could turn her into a monster. Maybe now she just likes all these things that you're coming home with, because sometimes people do that because it's almost like they're buying that person. They're buying all this stuff because they're afraid they're going to miss out on that person. They don't believe that they're going to have them for a long time, so they want to buy them stuff, because they don't want to lose that person in their life. So it's a way of saying, here, like, I'm here for you, I'm buying stuff for you. But that's not always the case. There's people that you could really love her, and love everything about her, and that's why you really don't want to overdo it with overbuying. And I told my son that before he got involved with the lady that he's with, it's okay to go out and here and there, but if you overdo it, then they're going to expect it. Then they're going to demand it. And what if there's a day that, you can't do it anymore? What if you get laid off or fired from a job, or something happens and you don't have any money? Is she still going to love you for who you are? or what you have or what you're going to give her. You know, I have to pick on the women and the men on this part is because, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, men could be, you know, I've heard of people going out and buying like expensive jewelry right away to a female, you know, and they just started dating, you know, where, you know, that's just really too fast, too quick, you know, and you know, you don't want her to get married to you because of the things that you can give her. You want her to fall in love with you because she loves you for who you are and she can accept you with or without that money. So, and that goes for men and women, but I have to pick on the women and the men on that. The way I did it is because girls are always the ones, you know, getting picked on, as we're always, you know, women always just want men for their money. But men, don't spoil your wife's rotten or your girlfriend's rotten. And that goes same with guys. I mean, girls with the men. Sometimes it's the woman that has a lot of money and the guy might not have a lot of money. And, you know, and I've seen that certain types of women will do that where they don't really love themselves enough where they feel like they have to always go and buy them something, you know, and to try to keep them that way because they're really not trusting that he will stay, and maybe they don't really love themselves enough to think that they're worth it, you know, to be with them. And depending on how the man is financially wise, sometimes women will try to buy the man, you know, by buying him a whole bunch of stuff and treating him out. And it's great that you do that, but really you could turn them into a monster. Maybe that's all later on they see you for is, what are you going to give me? What's next, you know? And so then when you don't have anything to give, then they might treat you horrible because they're not getting that anymore. So anyway, are you turning them into a monster? You know, and you got to really be careful with that because that easily can happen. And that's why with little kids, you do have to really nip it in the butt, really, on the crying stage and say, you know, you're 4.5, you're 5 years old right now. You know, a lot of that crying is fake. It's not real, you know, and they need to understand that you're kind of getting a little old for this, don't you? You're getting a little old, you know. If they didn't just fall down and get hurt, they really shouldn't be crying as much as they are at those ages, you know. So you definitely gotta, you know, it's like tough love. It really is. It's hard. It's like, okay, I gotta, you know, we can't, as parents, always be the good guy. We have to have balance. You could be part good guy, part bad girl, you know, or part guy, and bad, you know, good guy and good mom and bad mom. You know, they're gonna love you in the end, but you gotta do things in a good way for them because it's gonna help them out as when they get older. And anyway, I do love you so much. It's so important. And I mean, it's so bad that it's for adults and kids. So anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also check out my playlist. Plus, don't forget to share. And you can check me out on Instagram. And I got my little dinger bell. And on Instagram in 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. And don't forget the notification bell, that way you do not miss any videos. So, are you creating a monster? Because I'll tell you what, if you got kids, and if you're just caving in every time they cry, oh, you're crying? Here, let me give you what you want. Here, you crying? Here you go. Here, shut up. Here, shut up. I don't want to hear you cry. Here, take this. I don't want to hear you cry. Please don't do that. You're going to create a monster. And it could get really bad, you know. Now you got an adult that, you know, when they don't get their own way, wah, you know. So, you know, you don't want that. So anyway, I do love you. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.